Hi everybody! Today I will be reviewing The Storyteller by Jodi Picoult. Like every book by Jodi Picoult, this book is separated in different chapters that are told by different people. The main character in the book is Sage, who is a baker. She's a baker because she has a lot of talent, but also because she has a lot of inhibitions, and these inhibitions let her be a baker because she doesn't have to deal with people. She doesn't have to see people's faces. She doesn't have to interact with customers or anything like that. She just bakes at night, and then in the morning the baker's ready for her delicious treats. By the way that the food is described in this book, it's amazing. If you're a foodie, you're gonna love this book because there's a lot of desserts and different types of breads, and it sounds delicious. Sage's story is kind of sad. She has a scar on her face that it seems like it covers most of her face, and that's the first thing that obviously people notice. So this is her main inhibition. People tend to notice her scar, and immediately she rejects them because she thinks that they're judging her. She got this scar because she was in a car accident in which her mom died. She was the driver of the car, and she thinks that she's the reason why her mom is not alive. So because of this is another one of her inhibitions. She thinks that people have pushed her away because of the fact that she killed her mom. So we learn a little bit about Sage. She is a baker, and she also has a relationship with a guy who is married. This guy she met at the funeral home. He's the funeral director of the funeral home where they decided to prepare her mom's funeral. He is madly in love with Sage, but he cannot leave his wife. He has kids, and of course this is just not the way that he should do it. But still, he cheats on his wife every day apparently. So this is the only relationship that she has. But there was one time that someone came into the bakery a little late at night, so she kind of had to treat him, whatever. And this guy is a really old guy who is really nice. Everybody in town knows him. He is the well-known guy in the town because he's done such wonderful things for the town. And so they start kind of having a friendship, and he tells her stuff and she tells him stuff. Later he asks her for one of the biggest favors I've ever seen asked in a book, and is that he wants her to kill him. So this guy is Joseph Weber, and he's another one of the main characters. He doesn't have that many chapters in the book, but he tells her why he wants to be killed. He wants to be killed because he was a Nazi. He's one of the guys that managed the camps. He tells her that he's done awful things, and he just resents himself for doing all these awful things. He doesn't go into a lot of detail, but he asks her because she is not Jewish, but her family is Jewish, so he feels that she should be the one to kill him. And he says to her that he needs to be killed because he's gone through cancer, he's gone through several accidents, he's gone through everything, and nothing will kill him. So he thinks that someone needs to kill him in order for him to die. He believes that this is some kind of punishment because of the horrible things that he did. After hearing this, Sage kind of pushes him away. She doesn't know how to react. She knows that this guy is the most amazing guy in town. He's done wonderful things for the town, but he's a Nazi. Like, how does that happen? How is it that you were so horrible and now you're really nice? After this, she decides to contact the federal agents, and she gets in contact with Leo. Leo is another one of our main characters. Leo is a federal agent, but apparently his agency has not had a lot of success finding Nazis. they've had like once or twice. Most people are so old that they just die before they actually get deported or before they actually get into a trial. But she contacts him and she tells him the story that she just learned. Leo's not sure of the information that's given to him. He of course has had so many unsuccessful situations that he's not sure if this could actually happen. So he kind of takes her information and tells her that someone will be in contact with her and that he's going to find out if something could be done. Later in the story, we see that Leo starts getting more information from Sage, who Sage is actually trying to get more information from Joseph. So she has something to tell about this guy. He starts to describe situations at the camp, and he starts telling her about things that no one should know. Only people who are in the file, or that only information that should be in the file is known, and obviously that's secure and no one else gets to know it. So Leo decides to go to Sage's town and talks to her. He tells her of the process of what they have to do. They need a witness, and they need anything that they could get from this guy. And that's how we learn about our fourth character, who is Sage's grandmother. She's a survivor. She went through all of the horrible things that happened in the camp. Minka has one of the longest chapters in this book. This chapter is pretty much her telling Leo and Sage the whole story, how she got into the camp, how she went through horrible things, how she actually was so smart that she was able to get outside of the regular jobs that they will give them. She was also so smart that she made up this story, and that's the reason why she's the storyteller. She tells one of the officials her story, and that's pretty much how she's saved from all those horrible jobs. There are many other things and many other details in this chapter. This chapter is so captivating. It's amazing. I love this chapter, and I hate it at the same time, because if you think about it, I mean, these are things that actually happen, and it's a horrible chapter because of the details and the gore details that you read. But it's amazing. It's a very detailed chapter, and I'm sorry that I keep repeating it, but it's an amazing chapter. After Minka has told us the whole story of the camp, Leo decides that she needs to go to court and she needs to testify against Joseph. She doesn't know that there's this guy in town, but she knows that there's something that needs to be done and she needs to testify. A little later, unfortunately, Minka dies and she's not able to testify against this guy. But Sage decides to consider Joseph's offer. She thinks about it. Should she kill him? Should he be prosecuted? He's so old. Something needs to happen. So this is where I'm going to leave you, not without telling you that actually Leo and Sage do fall in love. And it's a pretty story. I think it's very beautiful because he just finds her so hot and so amazing that I think that part, it's just beautiful. Please read it. It's an amazing book. And the reason why I think it's amazing is because Jodi Picoult took her time writing this book. She obviously did her homework, trying to look for little details about how the camp was run, what happened in the camp, the kind of jobs that people did, the kind of horrible things that happened in the camp. There's so much disaster and so much heartbreak during this book, especially the chapter that Minka tells us the story. It's so detailed that I am in love with that. I love the fact that there's an author that can take you there. It's like you were following Minka step by step and during the things that she was doing. It's so wonderful to get you there and to know that it kind of touches you. You feel in pain because of the situation that Minka is going through. So I love that. I love the amount of detail that Jodi Picoult puts in every single of her books. It's not just a storyteller, and I know that there's people who don't like her at all because they feel that some of her books are repetitive because there's always the same kind of characters and the same kind of, I don't know, social disaster, and it kind of ends the same way. I don't care. I don't care that she has that type of book because that's her signature. That's who she is. I love the fact that she just decides to write down a book and do her homework. I think that's fascinating. I totally recommend this book if you are interested in anything that might have happened during the camps. Of course, this is a work of fiction, but it could be so real that it just takes you there. If you have not read this book, I totally recommend it. It's going to take you to a very dark place, but it is totally worth it. It's a heartbreak. It's a complete heartbreak, but it's amazing. It's an amazing book. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in another time. Please subscribe. Bye bye.